What's up, everybody? This is Fred Richani. We have right here via Zoom a very special guest. He is the director of the Lebanese Independent Film Festival. He is a critically acclaimed filmmaker, project manager, producer. The list goes on and on. We are talking to the multi-hyphenate, the multi-talented Gauthier Raad. Gauthier, thank you so much for the time. How's everything going?
Good. Well, thank you, Fred. Thank you for this beautiful, amazing invitation. Thank you.
Before we jump into all your amazing work on the film festival circuit, everything you're doing, we got to ask, with everything going on in Lebanon, I'm sure a few people have some questions. So with 2024 now in full swing, can we expect the LIFF to resume this year?
Of course. Nothing has stopped us. And I'm going to, back in 2020, there was no power in Lebanon, no gas, no power. People didn't know what was going on, right? That was back in 2020, but still we did it. And, it's if you can't make it, we're going to send you the movies.
Absolutely love that. So let's just dive in. Now, you're not just the director of the Lebanese Independent Film Festival. You're also the director of the Fantasy Film Festival, the Canadian Independent Film Festival, the Night of Misfit Films. The list goes on and on, but let's just focus on the LIFF for now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
So I guess let's ask you first, which film festival came first, and how did you get embedded into the festival circuit?
So the first was Night of Misfit Films, was Phoenix, Arizona, Night of Misfit Films. Second was simultaneously, a few months later, was Lebanese Independent Film Festival, LIFF. And this came from the idea, I was there at that time in Lebanon, and, I felt that my voice was not heard. My voice was not screened. And I thought to myself, I'm like, if I'm feeling this way, I'm sure that other people are feeling the same way. And, I'm like, because I have an international journey. So I'm originally Lebanese, but, I'm not 100% Lebanese. So, I was, we're always influenced by other cultures, by other languages, by other, people we meet and we spend time with. So I'm like, I want to create a festival where everybody's represented. And this was, the main goal, and still the main goal of the film festival, where everybody is represented, nobody's left outside. We got to do some selection, of course, film selection, but I'm talking about, topics. And sometimes taboos we don't want to talk about. And sometimes, films we don't want to, we want to overlook. We're here to say, no, everybody is welcome and all the voices are welcome in the festival.
You do have a tough job as far as narrowing down the films and the filmmakers you do feature. But I'd imagine just in general, there are a lot of challenges as it is. And as somebody like you, who's kind of like a nomad, who's, a little all over the place, always traveling and everything else and doing your own work, how hard is it to kind of organize everything from different countries and different states?
Look, it is a tough job. So people, see the outcome of years and years of, work. People, unfortunately, only want to see the pictures, the glamorous part of the film festival, the red carpet, the sip and repeat, the opening ceremony, the awards. But, it's beautiful, but we're always telling people, a film festival is more than that. We are still creating other film festivals. And it's, first of all, to meet, to talk, to network, to, it's not it couldn't be something fancy, but it's more about, meeting each other. Let's go there, watch a movie, talk about a certain topic, or maybe not talk about a certain topic, because some people, when they see something that, they are not, I would say, used to see it, sometimes they don't want to talk about it. And we understand that. It's just, we were trying to create a space where, we're welcoming everybody. So it is tough, but, we're just doing our best and I want to say that with no external funding, because in Lebanon, there's no funding at all.
Wow. So it very much is kind of grassroots community, team effort and everything. And look, as well as I do that, our people in the Middle East and in North Africa and in the diaspora, well-educated, highly creative, so many professionals that break all the stereotypes. But when you form the LIFF and when you got it going to where it is today, Are there some aspects of it that even surprised you in terms of the feedback and who got involved?
Look, it's interesting because, the film festival, especially LIFF, is like my baby, right? We started everything from scratch. We started everything with, a shoestring. We started it in bubble gums. We started everything, from nothing. We had the idea, and then, it's growing, and it's growing fast. So sometimes we're not up to speed, to how fast the festival is growing, just because we're still small team. We're still, understanding what's going on. It's beautiful. It's amazing that the festival is just blew up. But, sometimes we're like, we're tired, but, it's the positive, fatigue is the positive side of being tired, Yeah.
For sure. And have there been any filmmakers that have come through over the years, whether with the LIFF or just one of the other ones that you manage, where you look at this person, you're like, how have you not blown up yet?
You know what? Yes, there's a lot of talents. There's a lot of hidden talents. There's a lot of people who either are shy or I don't know what's going on, but I think we're on the right track, just because before we had big studios, we had Hollywood, and Hollywood is Hollywood and still gonna be Hollywood, but now I think that with all the independent film festival, with all of the other alternative studios, alternative options, we have more options today for distribution, for funds, for filmmakers. I feel that we're on the right path. People are understanding that a blockbuster is beautiful movie, but there's something called independent as well. And people, I see more people supporting independent scene in general, and understanding that independent doesn't mean a student film. Independent doesn't mean something less than a big studio with a big studio film with list A 5 actors and actresses, right? So now people are understanding that independent could be actually, sometimes visually better. The script could be more, because they have more. As an independent filmmaker, and producer, you have more. I would say, you can search more. You can try new things. Whereas if you're being produced by a Hollywood, production, you got to stick to the rules, and so yeah, I think that we see a lot of talent, actually, and we try to stay in contact, to create this community and to keep interacting with this community.
Specifically in terms of Middle East Arab culture in particular, let's focus on Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, all these regions, especially Yemen, that are kind of being affected by the siege and everything going on right now beyond their control. How important is it for you as a film festival director to kind of help preserve and showcase these different cultures? Obviously, you're open to everybody, as you said, but specifically as somebody who is also Middle Eastern, how important is it to show people that not only, hey, we're human too, but also to preserve our culture during a time when a lot of people are trying to erase it?
Yeah, I think in general, movies are a beautiful, beautiful way to preserve a culture. It's one of the best ways right now to preserve a culture, and preserve the stories. Right. I'm gonna say something that, and this is the first time that I get the chance to say it. We've been screening Palestinian movies at LIFF. We've been screening Syrian movies at LIFF. Some of the winners are Syrians or are originally Palestinians, or we are really open to everybody, as long as the movie is beautiful, of course, and it matches our criteria. But I think as film festivals, I think it's we have a responsibility right now more than ever to screen, to showcase, to shed a certain light on communities that are in danger, that on stories that some people do not want to hear. So I think it's a big responsibility. Now it has been, and it should, this responsibility is, I think it's more than a responsibility. It's who we are. It's where we come from. It's it's not a responsibility. It's who we are.
For sure. Very, very well said. Now, on a lighter note, you are also a filmmaker. So I'm curious for you, did the film festival activity come first, or did the filmmaking come first for you?
Oh my God. This is a dilemma that I that I wake up with, spend my day with, and then sleep with. I love filmmaking. I've always wanted to be a filmmaker, to tell stories. But I've met my second lover, which is film festivals. And then you have the first lover, and then you have the second lover. And then film festivals, I think, gave me and taught me things that as a filmmaker I couldn't, understand, and vice versa. Fortunately or unfortunately, I think right now film festivals are taking most of my times, especially because we're starting, now in a few months, we're starting up a new film festival in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, I think most of my time is going to film festivals, but I made a promise for myself. 2024, I am going to produce 2 shorts, and hopefully you'll interview me back end of 2024, and we'll see the trailers.
Can't wait. And yeah, hey, we would love to have you. But yeah, I definitely want to shout out, some of the work you've already done. So she's on IMDb. You directed a short called The Splinter, Libertad, Beirut. And you also did a documentary. This is one I'm curious to really ask you about, called Gayrouth, which is about two men who are kind of living a double life. It's a documentary. You mentioned before how you like to cover topics that maybe not a lot of people in the community kind of talk about. So can you talk a little bit about Gayrouth and the feedback you received from it?
Sure. So that was the first documentary ever made about sexual, I would say. That was shot back in 2014. Back in 2014, this topic was really taboo, Now we're 10 years later, and it's still somehow a taboo. Imagine 2014. Most of the documentary, and I got inspired by my friends, and my close friend. I was, this guy has to live a double life, really a double, a hurtful double life. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell your story. Of course, we do not reveal his identity. And then we couldn't screen the movie in Lebanon, in 2014. I kept receiving calls and anonymous calls, not to screen the movie. I did not screen it. It was supposed to screen, but I did not screen it because, I was scared. I didn't want anything to happen to my cast, right? If somebody, the cast, the crew, because, in the credits, the crew is credited. So, but this documentary got me beautiful places. It was not screened in Lebanon, but it got me more than, I think, 38 selections worldwide. It's just, we filmed the whole thing in hidden camera. Most of it was hidden, right? So that was a real good experience. It taught me a lot. And, I did these 2 documentaries. Libertad, Beirut is about freedom, more of sexual freedom in Beirut. I wanted to do these 2 documentaries just to tell stories of people that back in 2014, 2015 until 2018, they were nobody wanted to talk about these topics. Nobody wanted to screen these topics. And I'm like, this is why I did these 2 documentaries. Yeah,
amazing. And hey, I love that you showcase these topics and everything. And, I think it also shines a light on the fact that, hey, at the end of the day, contrary to popular belief, there is very much a queer and LGBTQ community, within the Arab world. If it was taboo or not, people deserve to be heard, deserve to be seen, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly. Yeah. It's, and I want to say something. I don't shout it out loud, of course, in the media, because we're still doing, and we want to still keep, being able to do the film festival in Lebanon. But our film festival screens a lot of women's rights subjects that sometimes, our government, they do not want us to talk about, like abortion, like, nationality, because, like the women in Lebanon cannot give the nationality to their children, if they are married to another, to a non-Lebanese person, LGBTQ plus community. We always make sure that everybody's included. We include a lot of like domestic violence. We include a lot of minorities, different minorities. So this is why, and I'm going to say it, a lot of people, they fight the festival, they fight and they find anything, because everything we do is legal, right? I've studied the law, and that was like my master's, one of my master's degree. I studied the audiovisual law in Lebanon, and everything we do is legal because I wanted to do everything, legally. But still, until now, it's interesting how I do not understand it, but I move forward. Some people do not want to hear your opinion, and they just want you to just, shut up and sit quiet, be quiet. And we're not quiet. This is why, we get a lot of, crazy people around us because we're not quiet, and because we're making change, actually.
Hey, at the end of the day, you're making positive change. You're highlighting, artists, and at the end of the day, right, art can heal the world, right? Through a film, exactly. Through a short, through a documentary. At the very least, it could certainly educate somebody. So yeah, you guys are all doing a great job with that.
Exactly. And Fred, if you're scared, and you're gonna start shaking because of a short movie, seriously, how it doesn't take you so much, right?
No, for sure. There's just a few quick questions before we head out, by the way, as well. We always like to ask our guests some kind of random and rapid fire questions just to get to know them better. Are you ready?
I am.
Excellent. Also, real quick, I just want to send a special shout out to LIFF host Sandy Rakka, who connected us. Sandy's super talented, great host, great film buff. So shout out to her. She's doing some great things as well. You can check her out on Instagram. All right. All-time favorite movie?
Were you expecting an answer?
You throw out a couple. Okay, fine.
Okay.
What film made you fall in love with film?
It's a French movie called Last Year in Merenbad. It's an old movie, black and white. It's by director Arab LGBTQ. And it's like artsy, new wavy, old and new wavy French. So Last Year in Merenbad.
All-time favorite filmmaker?
Emir Kusturica.
You've been all over the world. Favorite place you've traveled?
Philippines.
Awesome. Any particular part of the Philippines?
The South. Yes, the South. It's beautiful. It's still not as touristy as like Thailand, and it's just being there inspired me a lot as well. There's something being close to nature. There's something interesting that we cannot, connecting with nature is super important, I think.
Favorite spot in Lebanon?
Sandin.
And for anybody that's not familiar with that, can you explain why and what that is?
Sandin for me represents, it's one of the highest mountain in Lebanon, and it's in the middle between the the Bekaa Valley and Mount Lebanon and Beirut. I was raised, and during my whole childhood, I used to overlook, the mountains. And then when I moved to another city where there was no mountain, I understood that actually a lot of my strength came from the mountain, from seeing, a majestic mountain. So I think Sanin, it carries a lot of history, beautiful and sad history of Lebanon, but mostly beautiful. And for the real 4 seasons goes through Sanin, the snow, in summer it's really super hot. In winter, you have the snow, it's super cold. And people are still living there, like there are people actually living there, all year long. And it's just beautiful.
Awesome stuff. Favorite Lebanese dish?
Kibbeh.
Now, do you like kibbeh meat? Like, do you like it raw or do you like it cooked?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
All right, there you go. There you go. A man of culture for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And opinionated, right?
Yeah, exactly. What's your most awkward moment as a filmmaker and film festival director? Is there anything that was wild and wacky that happened that you look back now and you could tell that it's a funny story, but in the moment maybe it was a little crazy?
Yeah, as a filmmaker, I go back to I had to sneak in to a party. I'm not gonna say, which party, but I really had to go. It was a hidden camera thing, and I had to sneak in myself and my camera, and I had to dance close to another person so I can take my shot. And the other person didn't know, what was going on, but I'm like, shut up, just do what I'm doing. That was super awkward, but guess what? I got my shot.
Hey, that's the most important thing, right? You got the shot.
No, this is the first time I say it. Good questions, by the way. Good questions. I'm like, hey.
Oh, good, man. Oh, man. All right. And a little more of a serious note. You've been a successful filmmaker up to this point, directed multiple film festivals that have been running for quite a while now, critically acclaimed, well-deserved. What's the best piece of advice you give for success?
Never let anybody's opinion affect you. People, they have opinion. Every and each person, they have opinion, and their opinion changes, and their opinion is based on what they are saying, their culture, where they come from, what they are going through, the divorce they are going through right now. Their opinion has, the tabkha that didn't, anyway, their opinion is not who you are. Their opinion is not what your reality is. Of course, I take into consideration a lot of, I wouldn't say opinions, I would say instructive critique, from people who are doing better than me. I took the decision not to take critique from people who are doing less than me. Because, why wasting my time? This is the advice that I give everybody. People have opinion. Do not let it affect you. Especially now, everybody's, behind their screen. You don't even know, who are you talking to, do you know me? If you know me, I'm sure that you wouldn't say that. This is why I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what you said, because you're nobody to me. And if you're, and guess what? If somebody's doing better than you, they don't have time to criticize you, bottom line. And Fred, I'm going to say this quickly. When I wanted to do Gayrouth, everybody, all my friends, all my family was like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to talk about that? There's like 500 other topics to talk about. Why do you want to do that? And I still did it, right? And then it got me places, it got me to beautiful, beautiful places. And I met beautiful people.
It's amazing, right? It all worked out for sure. Why should people check out the Lebanese Independent Film Festival?
Because it's the only, when I say only, I know why I'm saying it. It's the only film festival that really screens diversity of topics, diversity of people, diversity of voices. We really screen all of the films, and we do not go through the censorship process.
Amazing. And if you want to know more information about LIFF, you can visit liffofficial.com, or you can also check them out on Facebook, Instagram, X, LIFF official, and liffofficial.com. Before I let you go, Gauthier, you've been so gracious with your time. We appreciate it. The floor is yours. Where can we find you online? And where can we find you and all your great events and work next?
Sure. So we've created, because now we're doing like a lot of things. So we've created something called wefilmfestivals.com. So it's wefilmfestivals.com. This is where all of our festivals, we connect all of our festivals together. And then if you want to follow me, it's Gauthier, Gauthier Raad, as my last name, RAAD.com. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. I deleted my ex account because you know what? I can't be in 5 different times saying the same, 5 different places. I decided to focus on LinkedIn for if you have any professional inquiry or any professional opportunity for me, let's, connect on LinkedIn. Instagram is personal and professional at the same time. So, and I am always open to, meeting new people and, collaborating with new people.
And hey, I can attest to that. Shout out to our friend Sandy. I sent you a message. You got it right back to me. So much appreciated. A man of the people.
Of course.
Excellent. Hey, Gauthier, one more question. Bonus question. Is there anything you wish I asked you in this interview?
No, you know what? When I do interviews, I don't have any expectations, I've been to a lot of different interviews, from the most progressive, I would say, host to the most conservative host. And it's, I just try to, be myself, but not being offensive to to anyone. So no, I didn't have any expectations. I've watched many of your YouTube interviews, and I knew that I was going to be interviewed by a professional. So when you're interviewed by a professional, that it's going to be a good interview. And I want to thank you for your time, your efforts, and the beautiful thing that you are doing. You as well, you are giving chances and opportunities to people, and you are voicing out some voiceless topics and opinions. So good luck, and please keep doing this.
Thank you so much, Gauthier. That means a lot. And as we say in Arabic, you're welcome. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
You and your team definitely hope to make it out to Lebanon once again one day. This time to check out LIFF. It'd be great to connect.
You'd be our guest of honor.
Oh, yeah, Habibi. Thank you. You're too kind. And of course, as Gauthier mentioned, you can check out LIFF, liffofficial.com, facebook.com/LIFFofficial. Gauthier Raad, we'll link that all in the show notes, all over social media and everything. Otherwise, my friend, thank you so much for your time. Best wishes, and looking forward to checking out LIFF and everything else you got going on in 2024.
Cool. Thank you, Fred.